Hi guys, thank you for watching Yoga with Elia. This is Elia, and today I'd like to talk to you about a very critical aspect of our health and wellness. Hydration, water. Growing up, we probably all heard that the human body is composed roughly of 2/3 of water, about 65 to 70%. And if you actually look at the specific structures and tissues of the body, like muscles are composed of about 70 to 75% water, cartilage even more than that. And when you look at the discs in the spine, the intervertebral discs, they're composed of about 85 to 90% water. So they're made out of more water than not. And on the topic and issue of spinal health, especially low back health, we have to know that retaining the integrity of these discs is one of the cornerstones of keeping our spines healthy and functioning throughout the course of our life. And in fact, a lot of spinal degenerative conditions, are precipitated by the failure of some of these soft tissues because people are chronically underhydrated. There's actually a loose statistic around that has shown that about 75% of Americans are chronically underhydrated. And not so much because we drink less water. Actually, people seem to drink more water, buy more bottled water, get more water purifiers, but it's actually because we also drink more sugary drinks and more caffeine drinks, which are in themselves dehydrating and diuretic. And so to replenish the body with its requisite amount of water is the pillar of health and wellness. Because if the main element that our body is made of and relies on isn't replenished, it doesn't matter how much we sleep, it doesn't matter how much yoga we do, how much fitness we participate in, how much we meditate, how well we can breathe, nothing is going to function properly if we're not adequately hydrated. It's actually been shown clinically that even being 1% underhydrated will show up in cognitive performance and mood disorder markers. So timing is everything. The most important drink of water of your day, of everybody's day, is first thing in the morning. And this is something that I've done for years myself. This is something that I get all my clients to do. I try to recommend this to as many students as I can. And so when you first wake up in the morning, after brushing your teeth, of course, you want to make sure to drink about 20 to 30 ounces of water depending on your weight. So I usually drink about a full mason jar. This is about 25 ounces of water first thing in the morning after brushing my teeth. Now, especially if you're an early riser, you might not necessarily be thirsty. Even if you don't wake up early, you might not be thirsty first thing in the morning. And this is where I want to say thirst is not the best gauge of our level of hydration. So that's very important to remember. And so when you first wake up in the morning, it's not about enjoying water. It's not about finding pleasure in drinking this much water, because it's not a little bit. It's really about knowing that this is medicine. In the same way that if you need cough syrup, you are not trying to enjoy the cough syrup. You're not making a smoothie out of it. You just want to get it into your body because your body needs it. The same is the case for our water. Our body needs it, irrelevant of what our taste buds or our preferences have to say about it. And this is why I love the philosophy of eat to live, not live to eat. My food, my hydration, everything that I do in my life is so that I can live better. I don't live so that I could do all these other things better. I do them so that my life is enriched by them. Now, what I do to make it a little bit easier, and it actually helps to infuse a little bit more vitamin C and antioxidants in your day, is I'll have another glass and I'll get a half of a cut or half of a lemon or a lime, and I'll just squeeze that in the separate glass. And then what I do afterwards is I'll start just by drinking a little bit of the pure clean water, and then I'll pour about 3 to 4 ounces and I'll dilute the lemon juice. I'll drink this down and then I follow it up with the rest of my pure and clean water afterwards. And that just makes it maybe a little bit more palatable, but it's still not a small amount of water. So again, I just want to impress upon you that this is necessary, and if you just get it into your abdomen, into your belly, into your stomach, that's all we really need. Now, the quality of water is another issue. Depending on where you live, depending on the municipal water district and restrictions and guidelines that your city has, your tap water may be clean and may actually be pure and healthy. I live in San Diego County, and so a lot of additives are put into our municipal public water because from where it's sourced, it can pick up pathogens along the way, so they add chlorine and fluorides and things like that into it just so people don't get diseases. And so if you live in a city like this, and you might have to find this out, then you just have to defer to clean water sources, whether it's good bottled water or it's some kind of artesian well water, whatever it is, you want to make sure that the quality of your water is also on point. The next thing is the temperature of the water. Now, it's very important, especially in the morning time, especially during your first drink, that you are not drinking ice water. Room temperature at the coldest. But what I often do is, because I make tea in the morning, I'll have a pot of hot water nearby, and I'll dilute some of that hot water into my glass so that it's a little bit even lukewarm, which might even make it less palatable. But again, that's beside the issue. We just need to get this stuff into our cells. Remember that. So I drink that down, and then I go take care of the rest of my business, and that's how I start my day. Now, throughout the rest of the day, even though this is the most important drink of water that you get, throughout the rest of your day, you want to repeat this about 2 to 3 more times. And the amount really depends on how big you are, first of all, your body mass, how much you sweat, and the climate that you live in. So if you live in a hot climate or you spend a lot of time in the sun, your body's going to get rid of water a lot quicker. Or if you live in a high altitude, which again, water evaporates quicker from your body. And one great way to track how hydrated you are, and it's not perfect, but it's a lot better than using your thirst sense, is the color of your urine. And you might have noticed that when you first wake up in the morning and your first urination is a lot darker yellow, which means it's a lot more concentrated. And so we all wake up dehydrated because we've been breathing all night long, exhaling. We're always exhaling hydrogen, water vapor. We're also sweating oftentimes when we sleep. And so when we wake up in the morning, we want to be able to get that water in, but noticing the color of your urine in the morning gives you a clue as to your level of hydration. And so when you repeat this cycle throughout the rest of your day, you want to make sure to drink this much water in the same exact sequence, the same exact method, no less than 30 minutes before every meal. You don't want to drink it 5 minutes before a meal, or let alone with a meal, because your body has the right amount, your stomach, digestive system has the right amount of hydrochloric acid in it to digest food. When you throw in this much water into it, that amount, that very precise amount of hydrochloric acid will get diluted, and so it won't be as corrosive, as digestive to any food substance that you throw in. So you want to make sure that your stomach is clear of water before you eat. And then exercise. That's also important. Before going to yoga or doing exercise, again, hydrate no less than 30 minutes before. And it's fine if you sip some water throughout that time. But again, if you're thirsty while you're working out or doing yoga, it's already too late. So my philosophy has always been pre-hydrate. So get this much water in before you work out or do yoga, and then rehydrate about this much water after. Depending on how much you sweat, depending on how physically active you are, if you do sweat a lot, say if you're a fitness or yoga teacher, you want to make sure to also take in some salt at least once a day with your water. So my suggestion for that would be you would take about a half a teaspoon of just good pink Himalayan salt or regular salt, because salt as an electrolyte helps some of our water get transported into our cells. We basically have two compartments where our water is held. There's the intracellular compartment and the extracellular compartment. And so just like the name suggests, the intracellular compartment is the amount of water, is all the contents inside of a cell's membrane, inside of a cell wall. And so the extracellular is on the outside of a cell wall. 2/3 of our total water composition is intracellular. And what guides how water transports between the two compartments, and especially how it gets into our cells, is the presence of salt and electrolytes. And so if you're sweating a lot, then you want to make sure that you're drinking some salt, half a teaspoon at a time, maybe 2 or 3 times a day even, so that you have a good fluid balance between these two compartments. And again, you can track that oftentimes by the color of your urine. So if you were sweating a lot and you're still urinating with a pretty decent yellow color, that probably means you're lacking some salt. So what I would do is I would dilute about a half a teaspoon of salt in about this much or less even boiling water, just to dilute it. Add some room temperature water to that so you're not drinking boiling water. Drink that down, and then following it up with the same amount of water in the same way that you did with lime water as your first drink of the day. This is a habit that you want to establish in your life as soon as possible. It is way too easy to do this, and it would be tragic to overlook such an easy health intervention and suffer any consequences to your body, your health, even your mental, psychological performance because of the absence of water. Even though the drinking of the water itself might not be enjoyable, I know that you're going to enjoy how you feel from it. And this is what really makes life better. Now remember, this is all to support you. It's to support your life so that you can support your family, you can be there for your friends, for your loved ones, in your community. And when we make our life better, with all these nice little additions to our life, with all these regimens of self-care and self-respect, actually, the whole world becomes better. Watching, and I will see you soon. Cheers.